In
yeah,
3,
da,
2, 1.
McClunky.
Maclunkey!
We came close.
Yeah, I guess
You were
so.
delayed.
Okay. Oh, I was delayed. Maybe you were in the future. Well, welcome back to the Maclunkey-Cast, everybody. Episode 3.
Almost lost count there.
It's a lot to keep track of.
Just wait till I find out what's next.
My mind's still a blur, man. We actually...
4.
Jack and I... What'd you say to me?
4.
Oh, is that the one that comes after 3?
That's the number that scares you?
Yeah. So...
We'll see up 4. Okay.
Jack and I just got back today from seeing Return of the Jedi in theaters. We got to see the re-release of that for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. It was awesome, fun experience. Got to hang out, see each other, see the movie on huge screen. With it was just a really good experience in general. Do you have a good time?
Yeah, I thought it would be a little weird because movie theaters are kind of like that. We got this public, millions of a lot of people. A lot of people show up. You don't know what they're gonna do. They might be loud. They might be annoying. I saw a kid walk past. You know that kid ain't know what that movie is. Probably just there.
I would say you were the loudest person there before the movie started.
hey, we're having a good time before the movie. Now when the movie came, I was quiet, but still making fun.
It was great.
If anything, I was the most annoying person there, but it was good. We did see a weird guy though.
We won't talk about
eyes,
that.
But want some lays.
Yeah, it was fun.
It
was a cool experience. It was a really cool experience. I highly recommend go see it. It's in theaters until May 4th. So you got a little bit of time to go see it. It's only in select theaters, not everywhere. They have like really cool, because since it was on a huge screen in a giant room, they had like, I'm trying to think of what it was, like surround sound for the movie, but like Dolby. So one of the best scenes in the movie, seeing it in the theater to me, was the Rancor pit. Because when the Rancor came out, like the whole theater shook with each step. That's a really cool experience.
Yeah, it was also very, very high def.
For real?
Good.
Yes.
It was
the Disney
fingerprints
cut
on Vader's helmets.
It was the Disney cut, so it's just a 4K Blu-ray version. But it was
good though on the big screen. You can't tell how old that movie is nearly as much.
The only times you could really tell was during the speeder bike chase.
Okay, yeah, I mean the special effects obviously don't age super well, but
some of the
Walker
scenes were good.
Yeah, but you can clearly see that it's like claymation or whatever, like models.
Stop motion.
Stop motion, yeah. Well, I don't think they're claymation, are they? Or they just use
stop
models?
Motion.
They use models, okay. I know that other people use claymation to like make certain things.
Stop motion and then model.
Yeah.
The Rancor was a puppet.
I would think that a lot of people are probably clay and puppets and old effects, so you can see like the speeders like shake and blur really weird.
You can see the green screen knitted around them.
Yeah, you can kind of see a lot of special effects, but it's old Star Wars, so
it was fun.
If you like Star Wars, you'll probably be fine with it because special effects aren't even looking that bad. And the guy screamed Jedi Rocks was there.
Yep, all of the.
Oh, it was the new version.
It was super fun. The Lopty Neck playing, all those fun songs. All kinds of stuff. No Yub Nub. It's the new version. It's the Disney one. So Anakin is Hayden Christensen at the end, which I'm indifferent to. So no Sebastian Shaw as the Force Ghost.
It's a fun movie to rewatch too. It's like it's a good movie.
We laughed quite a bit.
Like Phantom Menace, probably wouldn't love. I mean, Phantom Menace is good, but it's
Misa back.
Misa not so good character, but. It was a good movie, and then it was a lot of funny things. There's just like the most elite troopers, and then
a legion of my best troops awaits them.
Guy gets knocked out by one like medium-sized rock. I mean that hurt. I'll probably get back up, but I don't know about like being knocked out. Like...
Yeah, there's a couple of his elite troops. Han Solo just pushed one of the guys down.
Yeah, he did the little tap on the shoulder we all love, and just ran, and then like 50 people They did that in the first movie, didn't they? Or like, they kind of did something similar with Han Solo running through the Death Star.
Well, he just ran right at 5 of them.
Always, yeah. He just it's silly Star Wars as always, but it was fun.
It was very fun.
Luke was in like a shadow that had like little to no cover, and he was just like unable to be found by Vader. But we got to see it in 4K and on a really, really big screen, so it's like you don't have to worry about your home setup being kind of weird. It's just like a perfect. Yeah, obviously it's theater, so that's what it's for.
We got to hear it's a trap. Got to hear all the fun quotes. We got to hear it's a trap in high def on 4K. We got to hear Nate Nubs laugh.
I was skeptical to come to the movie and like have it be a unique experience, but it actually was different than like an at-home experience. Even if you get like a nice TV and nice setup at the movie, I think the theater we went to was just really, really nice. Like if I went to one maybe down the street from me that we were looking at, or one that's a little further. The one we picked was probably the best because that theater was huge.
It was.
It was nice.
It was very nice. So, since they played it for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, I thought it would be kind of fun just to talk more about Return of the Jedi maybe for a little bit. And since we just got done watching it and it's kind of fresh in our minds, I'll ask what was
the AT-AT they never used.
Right. What was your favorite? What's your favorite scene in Return of the Jedi?
It's a pretty good movie with some decent scenes. I don't know if I can pick one that stood out to me like crazy. What is yours?
I mean, I've got a couple. Like, I'm a sucker for the Jabba's palace, the Lopti neck, the fun, stupid dancing that they do. I find that super fun. But I also love basically everything in the Emperor's throne room when Luke cuts Darth Vader's hand off to when Darth Vader dies from him taking the mask off. I love that sequence with Luke. Vader redeems himself, then he takes the mask off. I love the scene at the end where he says, you know, I've got to save you, and he says, you already have. Tell your sister you were right. I love that whole sequence.
There's some funny lines in that movie too, surprisingly. Like Han Solo's got some good
fly casual.
Fly casual. Emperor's just like, I know. He's just like, I know.
That was the
He's on the Death Star, and Luke's like, my people are gonna take down your shields, and I was like, I know. It's like, I know they're there. It's like, damn. He just says, I know. Period. Ends it.
It was I who allowed them to know the location of the shield generator.
He didn't say. He just said, I know.
I know.
What's going on. I already know. Bro already knows everything.
I think that's what he said to Darth Vader. I think Darth Vader said somebody snuck by, and he's like, I know.
I'll tell you, a lot of
that's what it was. Yeah.
A lot of this is very different than newer Star Wars. Like, I don't know if Palpatine would go out like that in more modern times. He just zapped Vader, and he just kind of died really weakly.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he's electric, so it makes sense. But like, you see Vader get through a lot of stuff in the comics and newer media, and he just gets shocked like for like 2 seconds, and he's dead.
Yeah. Well, he's also a lot older.
He is. And the older Star Wars, they do a really good job of setting up and building around the old movies.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously that's like the stuff people love. At least starting off, it's most people love that stuff. But some of it's still like, it's like some of the newer stuff, the puppet with the moss guy, like campy kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. That's some of what we love about Star Wars, though. Like the puppets and the Salacious B. Crumb laughing every 10 minutes. So he didn't stop laughing, but that's what we love. He
laughed a lot more than I remember.
We stand Salacious B. Crumb here. He's my favorite. And I do stand by his middle name being non-canonically bred.
No,
it is not canon, but it's definitely like that's what they meant. Obviously,
Salacious breadcrumb.
Yeah, that's exactly what it should be.
Okay.
They gotta keep B for class. B for class.
But I would say those are my main favorite sequences in the movie for me.
I would probably also go with Jabba's palace because I don't know. There's a lot of good action in that movie, but I say the funnier bits like the comedy and stuff like that was also a lot of fun. It's just an old movie. Everybody's heard about it, but I do like some of the lore I've learned since I've watched that movie last. Like, I can't remember the name of them, but the bounty hunter that Leia plays saw her in
Bausch.
bounty hunter in the comics, Bausch, and his crew, and how his species is like super reclusive and all that. So there's some cool stuff
That's why you need
that you can pick out of that movie.
That's why you need to read and play Shadows of the Empire.
I will. I have it now. I now own it on DVD and cassette.
What?
Okay, I don't own a cassette or DVD, but I bought it on Steam. I got like a Humble Bundle, and also Steam's doing a Steam sale for pretty much all Star Wars stuff, obviously, because it made the 4th coming up. So I have, if I look up Star Wars.
Yeah, because they have the game, the comics, and the book, and they do go into a depth where how Leia gets that stuff from Bausch, and Chewbacca has like a cybernetic bounty hunter getup that he puts on.
Yeah. Oh, I now have the Old Republic 2. I got all the Star Wars Rebellion stuff, Squadron 3D, Jedi Knight stuff, so X-Wing stuff. I got all this stuff that's really old, and who knows if any of it's going to work on my computer anymore, but, well, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, but it was fun, you know, that's a big deal, 40 years of Return of the Jedi, and then also it's still kind of relevant, the 20 years of Clone Wars, you know, total.
I might even after that watch, I might go look and see what happened like between that and the last movie, because there's definitely some comics and stuff that take place in games, like you said, how she got that. But it's a solid movie. The original trilogy is not much to say bad about it. It's just a good classic trilogy.
It is. And again, I had a blast seeing it in the movie theaters. I would love to see Empire in theaters, but if I had to pick one other one, it would definitely be Revenge of the Sith.
They're classics, and watching the movie theater is actually is a different experience as long as you pick the right theater. You might have some little turd kid running around. That's what I was worried about. Somebody ruining the experience, but everybody was chill, doing their thing.
It's true. We had a really good experience there.
Yeah, it was great theater. Awful food, but still
soggy cheese sticks.
Yeah, it wasn't soggy. It was just
soft.
It was just soft. And then it wasn't even soggy. It wasn't wet. It was just cheese with like the least crunchy breadcrumbs I've ever had.
It's good times. Good times.
What kind of bread did they use? I told you they're probably going to be bad, but it was a good theater. It was really nice. Mm-hmm. No promotional stuff. I'm not sure if that's because of the theater we chose.
Yeah, I looked it up. I didn't see anybody getting anything, so I think we lucked out. Like, they had buckets for Guardian of the Galaxy, like popcorn buckets. I would have loved to have gotten one. You can buy them early. Like, they had them on the thing to buy. I would have loved a Star Wars one.
I'm not a popcorn bucket collector. I'm not sure who's buying. I'm not sure who's eating that much popcorn, let alone.
Well, no, I'm saying like because that's normally an option. If you go to AMC or something, normally you can just buy the bucket for an extra $3 and you get it. You can take it home.
What was that airplane movie that came out a while ago? That was really popular.
Snakes on a Plane.
No. The one with Maverick and stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's why they had a popcorn bucket with like a little bubble on top to like imitate like a plane. Like they do some cool stuff at AMC, and Disney's huge on that if you go to the parks, but I just don't see myself collecting.
I'll have to show you the R2-D2 one I have. It's actually just an R2-D2.
Yeah, I've seen that one. It's just an R2-D2.
I love that.
That one is not really a popcorn bucket. It's just R2-D2 with popcorn in it.
It's an R2-D2 that functions as one.
It can, but it's just R2-D2. It's like if you just bought a model that's not a popcorn bucket, it'd look the same because it's R2-D2. But I think they do some cool promotional stuff. I wish they did something.
Like the poster. I loved the new poster.
Yeah.
The new poster was beautiful.
It did look nice. I'm not sure. Let me look it up.
It was fantastic.
What's the...
But we will. Yeah, if they keep putting these out in theaters, I'll keep seeing them. I loved it. Again, I would love to see Revenge of the Sith again in theaters. I would love that.
Absolutely. I was skeptical, but I'm probably gonna go see as many as I can now. That new you're right though. I'm looking at the poster now. Such a difference. I mean, obviously the old poster was the classic Star Wars, like
Oh yeah, but
characters in front of each
it's
other
awesome.
in space. This one's just like this green, lush
It's Endor with Darth Vader and
the background's got like the Death Star, TIE fighters, and it's
Luke
got like
in front,
the Death Star
walkers.
like window the Emperor has.
Yep, the command, the throne room window.
It shows him also in the smaller in the middle there. It's a good modern poster. I'm actually surprised that they did a new one because the old one's classic, but it looks really good.
I really like this. I would have loved if they would have passed that poster out. I'd pay $5-10 for that poster. You know,
it's a good movie with really big stars like Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford. I'd say it's a good movie.
Yeah, for sure. So, as long as they keep bumping them things out, we'll go see them. And, you know, it was really close to May the 4th, so that's cool. You know, we got to do something Star Wars related even beforehand.
Yeah, well, they're going to have a lot more probably coming out, which we can probably transition into that because there's not too much to say. It's an old movie, but it's a good experience. So if you guys don't know, I'd probably suggest doing it. And I was skeptical, like I said, I'd probably end up doing it.
For sure. So yeah, we can segue into May the 4th, because we were talking about that a little bit. So May the 4th is almost here. We can talk about predictions, what we think may be announced, what we want to get announced.
There are some announcements I'm looking at right now.
So
dates for some shows I'm looking at here.
They if any of you guys didn't know, I post pretty often on our TikTok MaclunkeyCast. It's a MaclunkeyCast 0 on TikTok, but
link in the bottom.
Yeah, we'll put it down below. If you guys stop by there, I post like 3-4 times a day. If there's more news, I post as soon as I see it.
Yeah,
I appreciate everyone who has followed the, what do you want to call it, page, channel, whatever it is on TikTok. Yeah. Whoever's followed that, totally appreciate it. One of our posts to go see the 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi, that got like 4,000 views, so we appreciate that. So if you can, follow, and we'll keep you up to date on as much news as we can related to Star Wars. Some of the stuff was announced was like the Black Series Yoda lightsaber. That will be cool.
We'll show news and also like stuff that we collected. Like we put the I got the collector edition a little early for the Jedi Survivor, so we showed off like a picture of that. So definitely check it out because there's just little things that we throw on there so you can check out news and just get more Star Wars content on your page. Yeah. So we appreciate if you guys would do that. Same with, on here on YouTube. If you guys could like, comment, subscribe, we'd appreciate that. But yeah, May the 4th, some of the stuff, like I said, I was posting on the TikTok about. One of the things posted early was the Yoda lightsaber. They are for pre-order now, so they're coming out later, but it was just kind of announced a little early. So the Yoda Black Series lightsaber, I'm excited for that. It'll have the detachable blade, all that good stuff. It's the Force FX Elite line. It is $249.99. So it's $250. It's only $25 cheaper than a normal one. I thought it would be a little cheaper, but still cool. Had to make a brand new mold, everything like that. So I'm excited for it. They also announced for the Black Series the Mandalorian Fleet Commander. That one's cool. He was from the season finale, and I think a little bit before that, the previous episode 7 and 8. The guy who was flying Moff Gideon's light cruiser kind of had like a Jango Fett get-up, blue and silver with a blue and white helmet. So he's got a cool design, cool paint scheme. When he comes out, also that new lightsaber that came out too, they announced. Jedi Survivor one again. So
the Yoda saber and the Fleet Commander are for pre-order now. Stuff specifically for May 4th. They did announce a deluxe Cal Kestis limited edition lightsaber, where I really like it too. I do too. It's half his normal one, and I haven't finished the game yet, so I don't know if this is something specific to the game. I'm a little bit in.
Because you can customize your saber so much.
Yeah, I just don't know whose it is. Because normally in the first game it was specifically other people's lightsabers, but it's half of another lightsaber, so it's double-sided.
Well, he does have that cutscene where he does his lightsaber last time, so maybe he does something similar this time, where he forces you to do a certain type of lightsaber. So I mean, we'll get there, but they're releasing, and I mentioned to you, they're releasing one so soon to having the other one get released, which is, I think some fans might be like, oh, I just got this one, but like you're a hardcore fan, so you'll collect anything, and you kind of like that there's different types of his saber, because his saber it's very different than a lot of sabers. Because if you release Anakin's like 3 times, it's all going to be the same exact thing. This one's, you can do different things to it.
Yeah, it comes in a box. I don't know if this one will make noise like the previous ones, like the Anakin and Obi-Wan Ahsoka one. I don't think this one makes noise. I don't see the little music box stuff.
Yeah, if you look at the picture,
it doesn't appear to have it.
I'm not seeing the little button that it knocks. And if you look at the way that the top comes off,
slides.
It's different than the other box. It's not like a pull it open and like close it kind of chest.
It's actually
just like a slide off.
The same box as the Temple Guard one that Disney did. They did a double-sided Temple Guard.
They didn't have audio for that, did they?
No. So that's basically what this is. I think is the same kind of box. Just the top slides off and the saber's in there, but it's still really cool.
It's just bigger. So.
It's 2 lightsabers. They charge $250 for Ahsoka's Clone Wars lightsabers with no blades, and this does not come with blades. So the 2 Ahsoka sabers cost $249.99, so $250. This is a double-sided lightsaber, and I think the middle you can undo them. So it's 2 lightsabers with a coupler. So it'll probably cost $260, and in the box, I'm gonna guess $300.
You're gonna do like a guessing game. You want to put like, you want to make like it gets to use closer.
Sure, I think
that'd
it's
be
gonna
a fun little mini game.
I think it's either 3 or $350 is my guess. If it's 4, that's insane.
All right, let's make this like a little mini game because that might be kind of fun to guess.
Wait a minute, how much was
prices?
I have it. How much was the Ahsoka that deluxe box?
I don't remember. It was like $400.
I think it was $350.
It was definitely close to $400. It was around that area.
Well, then this should cost less because the box doesn't make any noise.
All right. I'm gonna put my guess in and do $325.
All right. I'm gonna guess $350. That's my guess.
All right. Write that down so we can remember who wins.
Okay.
So I want to make that a little mini game. So that's actually kind of fun. There's a lot of stuff where we can probably guess the prices of stuff, and then like how in May the 4th they booed them from that huge price on what's it called, the Java set or whatever.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You never know what they're gonna price it, so that's kind of a funny little thing. You never know what they're gonna price something.
Right.
Sometimes they're reasonable, sometimes it's ridiculous, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up. I might.
That's basically, they haven't announced a lot yet. We still have 5 days, 6 days. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days until May the 4th. So the really only thing that they've announced is the Cal Kestis lightsaber, and that hasn't. You can only pre-order that on that day. I think it was 10 or 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So it is. They gave a time, 8 a.m. Pacific time.
What's it in Eastern?
What's that?
What's it in Eastern?
I think it's either 10 or 11. And then they are also doing... Oh, okay. Well, it's probably going to be 11. Because they are doing the Hasbro Pulse fan stream. Oh, no, they're doing that May 3rd. That's right. Hasbro will be announcing all of their announcements the day before May the 4th.
Well, I'm sure they're saving some for the day itself.
I hope.
A lot. They do a lot, like, spread. So I think the last year they did the same thing. They had some stuff announced before. Like, I think the Ahsoka sabers were a couple days before last year. So then I ended up getting it because the site let me in early.
Yeah.
Scored that one pretty easily.
Thanks
website for not working, but
right.
they spread their announcements a little bit.
Yeah, they're going to announce. So how this is worded on their actual official post is they're going to announce everything on May 3rd, and then everything will go up for pre-order May 4th. So you will have to basically you'll know what you want ahead of time, and then you'll just have to, when it goes live, get it.
Yeah, I kind of like that because we all know, like, on the day of, it gets like set up for pre-order and announced pretty close to each other. So you're probably rushing to like get stuff done, but
Yeah.
I think there's some good stuff we're gonna see. Probably you're saying a 501st helmet. I'm not sure if they're gonna do a helmet. How often do they do it? Because they just did one.
Well, I mean, there were 4 helmets last year.
Yeah.
And there's only been 2 this year.
Well, have they always been known to keep the same pace, or are they more?
Yeah, there's about 4 to 5 helmets every year.
Okay,
once they finished the sequels, yeah, because I mean they've done. This year they did the Death Watch Mandalorian. No, they've done Death Watch, Bo-Katan, and wow, they've actually done 4 already. They did Bo-Katan, Death Watch Mando, Obi-Wan.
That's happened this year.
Yeah, it was. They were in January.
Really?
Bo-Katan was in March.
And time has gone faster.
Well, Bo-Katan wasn't in March. Bo-Katan was before that. But we got the Clone Trooper helmet. I have that, and we got the Obi-Wan Darth Vader helmet. I think that may have been December. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But I mean, all of those have been in a really, even if they're in November and December, that's only been 5 months, 6 months, you know?
Maybe we're looking at like either a big burst of more lightsabers through the year, or I mean helmets. Maybe we're looking at maybe a bit of a dry spell for a bit then.
Well, they already have there's already 2 pipelined that we're waiting for: the Ahsoka version of the Clone Trooper and the Scout Biker Trooper helmet for the 40th anniversary.
Yeah. Well,
that's a given.
Those are announced already.
The Ahsoka Trooper, I don't know if is coming out this year or not. I can't remember if they gave a date, but the Biker Trooper is coming out this year for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi.
That's a good question.
Let me look. I've got it here. The other stuff that has been announced is there's actually only one other thing that I know of that's been announced besides Cal Kestis's double-sided lightsaber that will be available May 4th. And Hot Toys is doing a Scout Trooper Commander from Jedi Survivor. So there's going to be a hot toy of that, which is kind of cool. It's kind of a double, like, ooh, it's a Scout Trooper, so it's Return of the Jedi-esque. And then also the brand new game for Jedi Survivor. So it's a cool double thing for that. But that's the only 2 things that I know of that have been announced. Predictions? That Ahsoka helmet says fall.
Oh yeah. I think I remember seeing that. You got it. I was gonna pull it up too, but yeah, I mean it's hard to predict, man. They have their toes in so many different pools of like toys, helmets, hot toys, big. All the like a million companies have their hands in this stuff, so you never know.
The big thing everyone is wondering is what. Okay, so the past 2 HasLabs failed, which really sucks because I love HasLabs.
Wasn't one of them Rhea?
It was Reva's lightsaber.
Reva, yeah.
It was her lightsaber. It didn't spin. And
how much were you looking forward to that one?
Right, but it was extremely overpriced.
This was a lightsaber. I think you're saying people were just not happy with the lightsaber.
Well, yeah,
they want more cooler projects.
We don't want a lightsaber to be a HasLab. Like, their logic was like, well, it's a double-sided lightsaber and it has more detail. It's like, no. 2 Darth Maul lightsabers cost $300. And you guys, I'm going to pull up the price because I don't want to say the wrong thing here.
The Ahsoka helmet says October 1st specifically on Hasbro Pulse.
Hopefully that's actually right.
Still up for sale, by the way.
Hey, good.
On Hasbro Pulse.
HasLab.
Yeah. Oh, I need to get one of those lightsaber holders because I got like a lightsaber or 2 I need to put on there.
So the Reva saber, so 2 Darth Maul Hasbro sabers, right? With the blades, those were $150 a piece. That's $300, okay? So $300 for a double-sided lightsaber. Now, you could say, well, Reva's has the ring around it. Okay. At the most, another $25. I'll give you the benefit of doubt. $50. So you should be charging $350 for Reva's lightsaber. My issue comes from they were wanting $500 for it. That is ridiculous. There's no way I'm going to pay $500, and nobody did. They wanted it backed. Didn't work. Nobody did it. Now, the previous HasLab, I did want. I was one of the backers. I really did want that Black Series Rancor, but it was just shy of needing enough people, so it didn't get it.
How much was that one?
$350.
That seems like a. How do you think it's like a thing that a lot of people would like, or just like a select few?
Well, they asked for, I think it was like 900 backers, which isn't a ton. It could have been a couple thousand actually, but either way, it came with carded Malakili. It came with a Salacious Crumb carded, a Luke Skywalker carded, but then it came with like a cardboard backdrop, which everyone was like, really? You're going to go through all of that as a cardboard backdrop. And then one of the other tiers was just bones to throw down, like 3D printed bones. It's like, okay. We were kind of hoping for a Jabba or, more. And then it was just not enough people. So the past two have failed. The previous one was the Razor Crest. I've got the Razor Crest. But we've gone two, and that's like a every other year thing. So we don't get them that often, and the past two failed. So everyone is hoping that this one, there's going to be an announcement May 4th. They kind of hinted at it at Star Wars Celebration. Hasbro did, that there was going to be an announcement.
I mean, the last couple of years, they've been really picking up pretty hard on Star Wars, especially since Disney's acquisition. They have gone from like doing a movie every year to now we got like 10 shows in the process of being shot, release, all this stuff. So they're really picking it up. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if maybe they break some of those patterns and how they used to do.
So have you heard what we'll say the rumor, like what everybody wants this HasLab to be?
What was that?
The Ghost. I would love that.
Yeah, I've seen they're also doing a Ghost Lego to be rumored as well. I saw that was leaked. So maybe they're gonna do more Ghost because of the Ahsoka series that's coming up. I wouldn't be surprised to see more Ahsoka stuff because that's the next show, isn't it? Yeah,
and Hera's in it and all. Sabine, Chopper, all of them are. So it makes sense. But the Ghost, man, that would be sick. That's huge. That is big.
That'd be good.
But it better come with everyone. Like, it better come with minimum. It better come with a Chopper and a Hera. And, I mean...
Don't say Canon Man too soon.
Well, I think if... Because they do tiers when it's like, we want 5,000 people to back it. So once 5,000 people do it, then there will be a tier unlocked. You'll get Hera carded. And then if another 500 people do it, you'll get Chopper. And if another 500 people do it, you get this. But if we reach the stretch goal, right, then you get the big things. I'm really hoping that we would get the Phantom. So the small ship on the Ghost.
Well, it's built into it, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, it depends. It depends. Because there's two different Phantoms.
The first one, and then there's also here
we go. I'm gonna
there technically be three because there's the original, there's the Empire transport that they used for a bit, and then there's a third the ship that one guy made, but it was kind of underneath it. So I guess that doesn't really count.
I don't know about the third one. I'm trying to remember. The second one
the experimental guy that they went to that planet to get the ship from. One with the giant wing span.
Yeah, the B-wing.
Yeah.
What about it? That's not a...
That wouldn't count. That was
no, yeah. That was they were transporting it because it didn't have hyperdrive.
Yeah. So I think it's just the first one and then the Empire transport, isn't it?
That was the... Here we go. I'm gonna nerd out here. I think it's called the Lithopede or Stealthopede shuttle. That's what Newt Gunray and them used in the Clone Wars, because they get that ship in the Clone Wars episode of Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be cool to get that one, but it would be cool to get the normal Phantom too. It just all depends on what they'll do, because they could just mold it in, or they could give us both, which would be really cool as a stretch goal.
That would be probably pretty far on the stretch goal, though.
Well, so think about, the Razor Crest. Like, do you know what all the goals were for that? That were reached?
I have no idea.
You got Mando and Grogu. What else do you think would be something they would give you with the Razor Crest?
Some of the guys in Carbonite.
So they gave you, I think, 4 or 5 guys in Carbonite. What's
it called? What was the name of the guy who says "I have spoken"?
Queel.
Probably Queel.
Nope.
Maybe that. Who else then?
Well, you would think Queel, or you get Jawas.
Queel or IG-11. Okay. Jawas had nothing to do with it.
Well, they did. That's the thing, is it has all the pop-off pieces, so you can make the Jawas steal it all. That was the premise. Cool. But it's neat. I love the goals for that. So I'm hoping there's some good stuff. But a 6 or a 3 3/4 inch scale Ghost would be absolutely amazing. I'm hoping that's true, because to be honest, I don't know what I would honestly want because it can be Black Series or Vintage Collection.
Honestly, I think a lot of shows, haven't they been doing like making figures and like releasing them before the shows come out? Like Andor, didn't they do that?
The first wave of Andor toys came out like maybe a week before the show.
So they may kind of
Barely.
Announce or pre-order some stuff from upcoming shows. But I would assume not, because Ahsoka's a little bit away, isn't it? A couple months?
August. But they could get away with the Ghost, because it could be Rebels and that,
And we also know who Ahsoka is, and we know Thrawn. Like, we know a lot of the characters who are going to be in it already.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's hard to say what they're going to announce. Because they can just do anything, and Star Wars has expanded a lot. Like, they could do more original movies. They may even do 40th anniversary stuff. Maybe they go ham on that for the Return of the Jedi or something like that. Like, who knows?
Yeah, it's one of those things where when it comes to HasLab announcements, it can be Black Series or it can be Vintage Collection. So the only thing with Black Series is toys. Well, yeah, the biggest thing with Black Series is they will probably only do, I guess, lightsabers or ships. But they can't really. They made a Black Series Snowspeeder. That's huge. And then they made a Black Series TIE Fighter. That's gigantic. Yeah. They can't make an X-Wing. They said they made one once. They scaled it out. They actually made it. It's too big. No one would buy it for the price. They can't afford to do it.
There's a lot of ships they could do.
Because Black Series 6-inch scale would be, like the size of a door. That would be that's huge. That's unreasonably large. But with
perhaps it's another ship. But what other big name ship could they do? Like Speeder makes sense. It's smaller.
Well, they've done but that you wouldn't want that as a HasLab, because those cost like $60, $70, $100. Stormtrooper with Dewback, that's $100. Enfys Nest on Speeder, Rey on Speeder, Luke and Land Speeder, those are all $100. I don't want a HasLab to be a $100 item. You want it to be a big ticket, like Jabba's sail barge. That was the first HasLab. That was $500.
Yeah.
That was huge. So a Vintage Collection, you can get away with more big ships like that. Black Series, it kind of has to be those lightsabers, even though we don't want it to. Because you can't. It took me forever to find a space for this TIE Fighter.
Maybe it's not so bad to do lightsabers, because maybe they could do ones that they normally wouldn't look at, like Cal Kestis or.
Yeah, but see, you have to make it worth. You have to make it worth $500.
They could do smaller amounts. They've done smaller ones like $200 or whatever. They can do less.
Not HasLab. No, I'm saying it's got to be HasLab.
Yeah, HasLab. They don't have to be $500. What are the lowest one they've had?
No, the lowest they've had is $350.
That's so they can do some.
Here's the deal. If that Reva lightsaber spun around, that would have been worth it. And everybody said that in the comments. If that lightsaber spun around, then yes, 100% that would be worth $350, $400. Because it spun around. But it didn't. So no, it's worth 2 Darth Maul lightsabers plus $50. So it's worth $350, not $500.
That's fair. I think maybe they can do smaller amount HasLabs and lightsabers, but do more obscure stuff. But they probably still have plenty of ships and stuff to mess around with from the original trilogy and
Hmm.
prequels and all that stuff. They probably mess around a lot more.
What would you want to see?
I don't buy a lot of HasLab stuff, some of the big ticket items, but I would probably look for the Ghost. I really like you mentioned. I think that's a really good series, so I think that's also more relevant than ever. But I'd probably see more original trilogy stuff. Maybe just like ships or droids or something like that. But what are some like ships and droids? They could do a number of things. You know more about the specific ships. They could do a lot of stuff. But maybe an A-wing. But I think that's probably just as big as maybe like close to an X-wing. So might be tough.
A-wing's pretty small. That would be like the size of the snowspeeder. They could probably do that, but they'd only charge.
Yeah.
Snowspeeder was only $120.
Yeah. So if they did a snowspeeder, I could probably. I'd do an A-wing or like a Jedi Starfighter, kind of the same thing. But
I would like that.
Yeah.
That would be cool to see, like Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter from Episode 2, the pointy one. Your Lego set you've got.
Yeah.
That would be
I
cool to
agree.
see to scale.
So I think probably the Jedi Starfighter, like A-wing. I think that's my favorite ship, just because I just like the way that I kind of like the way they look, but also how Jedi have to like control that with like the Force and how risk and rewarding it is. I just kind of like the idea of the ship and stuff like Anakin's that's yellow, and it's just a good look. I like that kind of ship, so I think I would be cool to see that ship if they made it, or some other maybe smaller fighters and see what they can do. But it kind of sucks that you said X-wing was just too big, because I think ships could be a big place that they can mess around with and do a lot with.
It's just a black series. Because the Vintage Collection, I've got like 4 different X-Wings.
Yeah. If they could do more Black Series like stuff with the ships, it kind of sucks that they can't do that scale, but it makes sense. But maybe they can keep it with Vintage. But I don't know. It's hard to say what they're gonna do because they really pull out some weird stuff, random stuff. It's kind of hard. Just who knows?
You know what would be cool if they did?
What?
Play sets. Like you got a Black Series 6-inch scale Luke's
Jar Jar
house.
Binks play set.
No, you got like Luke's house, or you got like a Camino platform to put
That
like
actually would be pretty
Obi-Wan
cool,
and
yeah.
Jango Fett on. That would be awesome.
That would be cool. I probably wouldn't do the Luke's Playhouse because it would just be a depressing sand like hut.
Supply your own sand.
There's a reason why he left, but you get your little moisturizing farm. That'd be awesome, bro. Having a moisturized farm.
Yeah.
But that could be a good idea.
Because the Vintage Collection gets a lot of playsets. They've got Jabba's Palace, they've got the Tantive 4 hallways, they've got the Navarro Cantina from Mandalorian. They've got all kinds of playsets. We don't have any.
That's fair. That actually might be a good place to move into, but I assume they're gonna go with a lot of what they were doing before and continue doing like little mini ships or maybe lightsabers.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say that they're gonna do something new because they tend to stick with what they know works.
It's true.
But we'll see. I don't know what else they would announce. I'm honestly just gonna wait to see more of what they announced and then go from there and probably bust out the wallet, see what we do.
And if anyone is, has that day off or just wants to stop in, I will be streaming on the MaclunkeyCast Twitch that day for all the announcements. I'll have the Hasbro live stream up. We'll be reacting. We'll do that stuff. All kinds of stuff. So if you guys just want to spend some time, hang out, talk Star Wars, well, I'll minimum I'll be there. You might be there in the morning maybe, but I'll be there a lot of the day.
I work pretty early, so I don't think I'll be on at any point that day. Unfortunately, I work and I can't take off or anything. But
Are you
I'll
off
still
early
be
that
keeping
day?
an eye. I work that day.
I mean, like, are you off earlier? If you're going in earlier?
I'm off earlier, but I got something I gotta take care of that afternoon.
Wow,
So,
something
I'll
more
be
important
keeping an
than
eye,
Star Wars.
Hey, I'm keeping an eye on I'm gonna have a laptop, I'm gonna have a phone, I'm gonna have an iPad, I'm gonna be 3 screens pre-ordering like a madman.
Good man, good man.
Good man.
Speaking of having screens up, playing video games, Jedi Survivor. How far? Well, let's not
I'm
get
not
into
gone far.
spoilers yet.
Yeah,
I think
I've
we'll
not
wait a
gone
little
far.
bit. Let's just give first impressions. No spoilers about the game story, but impressions of how the game looks, how the game plays, and how are you enjoying it?
I've only gone about 30, a little over 30 minutes into it.
Hmm.
So I'm still kind of in the first area that you end up in. But the gameplay, pretty good. It's like they have everything unlocked for you already. Some of the last like combos and stuff. Like you're not going through learning how to jump and open the map and all that stuff. But they have that option to tell you, hey, it's the map button and stuff. But a lot of the combos and stuff that you remember from the last game, like wall running, you get to do it by default. You don't have to go back in those little memory things. You can just do it like there. So I haven't gotten far, but I think they're going to build more skills. Like they've already shown some new skills from the last game that they just give you right off the bat and tell you to do. Some of them I got to remember to do, but they got some interesting new abilities. The tree looks a little different for your skill tree and getting points. And then there's some new enemies that I've seen in the trailers that I haven't gotten to yet. But I don't know. They really cut. I haven't read the book, but I saw a guy recap the book, and it has nothing to do with how the game got to where it is now.
There's
It
just
kinda
been a
does.
good amount of time that's passed.
Yeah, it mentions a little bit from what I hear. I gotta go back and probably read it at some point. But the book that's before this game and after the last game just tells about how the crew kind of had some issues with each other, but they all kind of still liked each other. So it kind of cuts a lot. We don't know what really happened so far, but I'm assuming they'll explain that.
Yeah. I'm about 2.5 hours in. I also stream the game on the weekends, and some other times during the week. I always post about it on the TikTok and Instagram if you guys ever want to keep up with that. I streamed yesterday for about 2.5 hours, and I'm loving the game. Looks fantastic. I'm not having any issues. So far, I'm loving the story. Can't wait to see where it goes, and I'm having a blast. And I haven't been this pumped to play a game in a while, so
Yeah.
I'm having a blast. I'm loving the game.
It is good. It's a lot of the same base, and just improving on it, which is a lot of the right things you can do with a video game. I mean, obviously you got to do some risky or some new stuff, but a lot of good games like Battlefront, the original Battlefront 1 and 2, they're very similar, but 2 just builds upon the great base the first one has, and they're kind of doing the same thing here. It's just building upon the great base and game that people loved last time and adding some new concepts to mix it up.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you got the disc copy. You did, right?
I did. I'm just playing it on PC.
Oh, if you have the disc or have a PC, did you see the tab where it shows you the original game? Does it come included with it?
I don't know.
So if you look at the main menu, at least in my copy, I have it in the Xbox disc. There's like the continue, like make a new game, all that stuff. And if you go down enough, it actually shows you Jedi Fallen Order as an option. So I think you can play the game inside the other game. So I think that's maybe why it's so big. But both games I think are on the one disc.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
I think that actually might be a part of maybe cosmetic mixing. So you can maybe do one disc or one game and have cosmetics and lightsabers and everything cross over.
Maybe.
But there is actually a tab for the original game in there. So maybe that's why it's a bit bigger, but it's on there. I even hit the button and it didn't maybe do anything different. It just started playing the game, the original one.
Interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I saw that and I'm like, huh. I want to click on this and I don't want to lose my save progress, but I clicked on it and it's there. So I think there's something they're cooking.
Yeah.
Cooking up something right there that's we'll find out later. I assume it's mostly probably the cosmetic thing though, which I think is neat. So you can maybe go back to the original and have cosmetics from the new one, lightsaber combinations, and maybe in the old one or the new one you can bring over old combinations and do whatever you want and really get creative.
Yeah. Interesting. That is neat. I like that. That's cool. So yeah, I think we're not going to talk about any spoilers. That's going to kind of cut it there for Jedi Survivor. I think we'll go into more depth next weekend once people have had more time to play it. It's been out for like a week and a half, so I think we'll do that. But besides that, I mean, we talked about Return of the Jedi. We talked about 40th anniversary, May the 4th.
Yeah.
New
I probably won't
announcements.
too long, but you want to talk about... I haven't finished it with the Calcast. Not the Calcast. I keep saying that name because he's everywhere now. Kanan Jarrus comic I read.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't finish it, but I got through the majority of it. And I'm kind of to the part where he's hanging out with the crew that he's with. But I don't want to like go in exact detail. Well, it's been out for a while, I assume. But it's hard to get your hands on because it's actually... not being reprinted as often. That's the one thing about comics is there's reprints, and then there's sometimes that they don't do a lot of reprints, so it's hard to get your hands on a physical copy or to find it and read it somewhere. This one's on the Marvel Unlimited app and probably other places too, but I got it physically because I wanted to have it because I like Rebels. But I read through it, and it's not the same story at all. Bad Batch, I assume, came way after it, and they kind of did their own thing to keep
it did. Dave Filoni retconned it.
They really like to do combination or like intertwine people's stories that sometimes don't really ever matter. Like, I don't think Bad Batch meeting Kanan will ever matter, but it might. But it's a very different story. It's Kanan Jarrus in Order 66 at the very beginning with his same master, Depa Billaba, but he's on a different planet, and he watches her get killed and stuff like that. So it's good. It's very different. But it's still a good story. It shows, like, same stuff we like to see with the clones. One of them kind of realized that it was a move to kill his Jedi that he's been serving with for a long time. So he kind of turned on the Empire and saves Kanan. So it's good. It's a good comic so far. I'm not going to go into detail because there's not too much to say. You probably just read it for yourself. It's a little bit better. But I would definitely suggest that as a comic to read through. If you like Rebels, it's pretty much just more Rebels content, more details that don't really necessarily matter, but are fun to read through.
Cool. So yeah, give that one a check. Check that one out. Give it a read, guys. You really recommend that one, huh?
Yeah, I'd say there's some ones that are real stinkers. But Star Wars so far, I've read through not too many comics. A lot of them are pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd say this is definitely a good one. They usually do a pretty good job with Star Wars comics, but if you like Rebels, I probably would suggest reading this if you'd like to get more Rebels content, but not necessarily content like that's canon anymore. It's not canon, but it's more Rebels content for you.
Cool. Well,
So,
I think overall, yeah, that's kind of all the stuff we got to talk about today.
Yeah, it's a off week. We got May 4th coming up. All we really did was watch the movie, and then nothing has come out recently. So we can do more stuff. Maybe do more video games, and we'll probably look at that. But leave comments about what you want to do, what you want to hear. I'll probably do more comics, read through some more, maybe do more details or reviews, or I got a bunch of the old video games for the May 4th sale on Steam Humble Bundle. So maybe we can play through those and upload clips or reviews those old games, see if they hold up or see how the lore is. Maybe talk about what we would maybe prefer over another, because a lot of retconning happened with those. So we can talk about that stuff later.
Yeah, I think that would be fun. I've done a couple reviews actually on the TikTok just to see how they would work and everything. So
Yeah.
I might do some Black Series reviews, maybe some lightsaber reviews, Humber reviews, things like that. I have a lot of things I can review. So if there's any line of toys, collectibles, replicas you guys would like to see, put it down below. I'll see if I've got it. I can do reviews for those. We can do like a weekly, maybe 2 a week, something like that. 1 a week, 2 a week. That would be cool. Just let us know what you want. So let us know in the comments here, or on the TikTok, or on the Instagram. Just let us know. But I think that is probably where we will cut it today. Sound like a good spot?
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about next week, I'm sure, after May the 4th. Probably
Oh,
a big
yeah.
toy talk on that one.
So we appreciate everyone stopping by, and we will see you in episode 4.
He learned 4, guys. He's learning.
Shut up.